I want to turn to education now. Tell me what you think the debate ought to be about education in America and how we are failing our children.
Well, we're failing our children, and let me give you the figure how bad it is. 30%, one-third of our children do not graduate from high school, and that's a good number. I've been in parts of the country where it's 50%, it's 40%. We're failing? Of course we're failing. How can we not fail when we make the number one priority in this country the military-industrial complex? We're spending more money on our defense than all the rest of the world put together. There's no money left to make what should be the number one priority, and that's education. In Japan, children go to school at 7 in the morning and at 5. In the United States, they get off at 3. In the United States, we have all summer off. That's no way to compete and succeed. We need to get off of this agricultural educational design system we have. Teachers want to get paid. Well, let them work year-round like the rest of the people. We need to have super teachers, and we need competition in education. We're not getting that, and we're going to continue to see the failure. It's not just throwing money at it, because we see what happens in Washington, D.C. They throw all the money it needs, and the money goes primarily to the administration and not to the education of children. We need to rethink the way we finance education, and that is by a property tax that pays for it. Now, wealthy communities can have great education. Poor communities have terrible education. That's because they don't have a property tax, and so what we're fed is, oh, this is a state matter. The federal government has to weigh in not only with money, but with some discipline to make our educational system work. And first, they have to make this the top priority. Isn't it embarrassing, Charlie, that Sweden, Spain, and I could name several other countries, they educate their children at no cost to the children from childhood to PhD, and this supposedly great country of ours can't even match that? Shame on us.
This question comes from a user, Elise Moretti, from Hawaii. She says, I am a new special education teacher, and I'm already observing how students with special needs are not getting the services they are legally entitled to. How do you make sure these children and all the other children in America are not being left behind?
Well, you do that with leadership, presidential leadership one, not just presidential leadership, but empowering the American people so they can make laws. Clearly, the Congress and the president in the last 50 years haven't been able to do it, because education is not the top priority in this country, and it needs to be. It is in other countries, and it shows. We are going downhill as a nation. We refuse to accept this. We're stuck in triumphalism, thinking we're the greatest in the world. Well, boy, start looking at educational statistics around the world, and you'll see we're far from the greatest in the world, and we're going downhill. When a third of your children do not graduate from high school, it means that these people are destined to suffer sub-economic existence. The unemployment rate for people who have not finished high school in this country is 8%. It comes down to, and it just comes down from there. No, we're failing, and it's our leadership that's failing, and the American people, if they had the power to make laws in partnership with representative government, they could correct this, but you can't, since the country is run by corporate America, particularly the military-industrial complex, the medical-industrial complex, and we do nothing about it because you're looking at this election and it's all money. Follow the money and you'll find out what you're going to get in the way of leadership.
Senator Gravel, since 1980, the percentage of Americans who are obese has risen steadily to an all-time high, and a recent report by Trust for America's Health said things were getting worse. In addition, SAT scores have declined, and 38% of fourth graders are unable to read at a basic level. If the definition of a friend is someone who tells you the truth, would you be willing to tell Americans that they're getting fatter and dumber? And if not, why aren't you my friend?
Well, first off, I'm prepared to tell you that Americans are getting fatter and dumber. I have no problem saying that. I've said that essentially on your program, and I've also said that the Americans are going to get the government they deserve. And so if things are going bad, just remember who put these people in power. What I'm trying to say to you, Americans, and that is you have to become empowered. You're too busy trusting your leaders, thinking they're going to do the job for you. They've proven they cannot do the job, whether it's war, whether it's education, whether it's health care. Please go to National Initiative, one word, .us, and vote to empower yourself, because that is the only answer. Representative government and our government is broken. It's in pieces, and the people are the only ones that can do something about it. There's only two venues for change. One is the government, where the problem lies, and the other is with the American people. And that's the message of my campaign, is the American people have to step forward and solve the problem. Don't wait on your leaders, because they'll never get the job done.
And what recommends you to them in terms of experience, change, leadership?
Well, what recommends them to me, to the people?
You to them.
Let me tell you, I'm the fellow that ended the draft. I'm the one that stopped the nuclear testing in the North Pacific. I'm the one that brought about the Alaska pipeline. I'm the one that released the Pentagon Papers and had to go to the Supreme Court because Richard Nixon was trying to throw me in jail. That's what I did 28, 29, 30 years ago. That was leadership then, and I was excoriated by the media at that point. I was a loose cannon. Well, right today, I've had the good fortune to live this long, and people look back and say, my God, were you a courageous leader? Well, that's the leadership you'll get when I become President of the United States. Now, can the American people stand that kind of leadership? That remains to be seen.